Back in 2017, I was obsessed with the early day YouTube vloggers like Casey Neistat, Dan Brown, and Ben Taylor Tech. Their ability to produce entertaining vlogs like a movie detailing every normal part of their life was amazing to me, and I felt so inspired. At the time, a close friend of mine was starting his professional filmmaking career, and he needed some help with editing projects. He taught me how to shoot, cut, edit, and produce videos. I love the production process. I found it so interesting, entertaining, and rewarding to build out videos. At the time, I had an inkling that I potentially wanted to pursue something like sports media after university. So I began making my own vlogs, purely for enjoyment. Almost immediately, I was laughed at and shot down by a couple of my close friends. It was awkward, I was just starting out, but I had already let the opinions and judgment of other people back me out from the thing that I was enjoying the most. Now, I don't hold it against them, many of them are still my close friends, and this isn't a self-pity story about me. This is a story about fear of failure and fear of judgment, and how it holds so many people back from living the life that they want to, or from losing weight and getting their health in order. Ultimately, it holds a lot of people back from getting what they really want out of life. For example, I bet you're watching this right now and you're desperate to change the way your body looks, your eating habits, or your exercise habits, but you're afraid of what certain people will think about you if you do. I'm going to show you exactly how I overcame that fear of failure and judgment to rebuild my YouTube channel into a huge success. And by the way, if you're looking at my subscribing numbers and thinking that's not a huge success, just remember that success is a feeling that you define. And for me, I'm creating content and videos that I enjoy again and helping people at scale more than I ever have done before. And that for me is hugely rewarding. So, first one, fear of failure. Just know this, everyone fails in the beginning. We live in an Instagram age now where you only see the end result and you only see the successes that people post. And when it comes to weight loss, hiding from your failures is the #1 killer of your progress. Let me share an example with you. You're consistent with your nutrition Monday to Friday. Then at the weekends you go completely off track, and out of guilt and shame, you don't check in on Monday morning with your weight. Kind of just ignore what happened because it feels uncomfortable. That might feel good to you in the moment because you didn't face up to the failure. You have to address failure and look it straight in the eyes. Firstly, you don't know if your weight was actually impacted that much by the weekend's eating because you didn't check in, you just assumed that it was off track. And number 2, you skipped some valuable lessons that are to be learned from each and every failure that you experience. When you go off track with your diet, it is so important to look into what happened. This is why we have a food journal inside our program. Asking yourself questions like, what happened? Was I too restrictive Monday to Friday? Was I underprepared for the weekend? Who was I with? Am I self-sabotaging because of low self-esteem? The quality of questions you ask determines how much you grow and get feedback. If you don't ask any questions, you don't get any feedback, you don't learn any lessons, and you never grow, and the lessons and failures keep repeating themselves until you learn from them. So I highly recommend that you get started with a food journal and dig into your mistakes, failures, and fuck-ups every week. Number 2, fear of judgment. I see this mostly as coming from a place of low self-esteem. Let's look at Donald Trump, for example. Personally, don't agree with everything he says, but there is no way of denying that that man does not give a fuck about what you or I think about him, genuinely. I mean, why would he? He has all the money and power in the world. He does not concern himself with the opinions of you and me. As a result, he can do and say whatever he pleases because he does not care about the judgment. I'm not saying that Donald Trump is someone you should role model yourself on. Just be 100% clear about that. The point I'm making is that you will die one day and no one will remember the decision that you're currently sweating over. Whether it's quitting drinking, making healthier food choices, prioritizing yourself, saying no to things more often, you might receive a little bit of friction in the beginning, but ultimately no one cares as much as you do. People have far too much going on to be worried about you. I'm sorry if this sounds like really blunt, aggressive advice, but that is how you need to hear it. Tell me this, how many times have you thought about Queen Elizabeth in the past year since she's died? Maybe once on her anniversary. And the point of this is to remind you that even the wealthiest, most powerful, longest serving monarch in British history doesn't cross your mind more than once a year. So whatever you're afraid of doing because you're concerned about the judgment of other people, go and do it. Because it's your life and you have to live it the way that you want to, aligned with your values, and those people will not care about it tomorrow. The worst thing that you can feel in life is regret. Regret for not taking action. Regret for not seeking help. Regret for not taking a chance on something. Regret that you didn't start sooner. Trust me, I know. So if you do nothing after this video, do this one thing. Write down a list of all the things you really want to try but are afraid to do. Then start with the smallest thing on that list. That will help you build momentum, and once you build enough momentum, you can do bigger and bigger things. Consider this permission to finally start living the life aligned to your values. Now, you'll notice watching these videos that all my content is nutrition and weight loss advice that has nothing to do with food. That's because for most people who work with us, they know what to do to lose weight, but they struggle to do it consistently enough to see the results. My aim on this channel is not to tell you to eat more protein. You already know that. Aim for me on this channel is to limit your self-sabotaging, alter your self-limiting beliefs, and help you live a life with more freedom, confidence, and energy every single day. If that sounds like something that you're after, drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and consider sticking around. See you next week.